Well, my background is in art and design. I used to do a lot of 3D graphics and animation. That's why I went to university and kind of learnt how to create creatures and things in 3D graphics. I got made redundant, unfortunately, during the recession, so I decided I wanted to do something different. I do a lot of rock climbing and stuff for fun as well. And a friend of mine I used to climb with was a tree surgeon, so I was chatting to him and that sounds like quite good fun. So I kind of went from there really. I couldn't find another job doing what I used to do, so I decided to do a chainsaw course and I've never looked back. When I sort of quite quickly realised that I didn't really have the temperament to be an animator and I much preferred creating the 3D characters. So I suppose that kind of mindset of thinking in 3 dimensions and kind of sculpting things on a computer, you know, it's a very, very similar process. It's been quite a natural transition really. I like to try and play about with different textures on things to create a bit of variation. You know, it's just a piece of wood, unless you're actually physically colouring it, it's all quite similar. It makes it look a lot more lifelike, I think, especially when you kind of go over with the blowtorch, so that brings out that detail. And yeah, it completely changes the look quite incredibly. I used to teach a bit of life drawing and stuff, and people would, you know, expect to be able to just draw, and they'd get really frustrated with themselves because, oh, it don't look right. There's a famous saying that you've got to draw 1,000 pictures before you can do a decent one. It is just practice. And it's the same with the carvings as well. People, you know, I know friends that have had a go and it doesn't look quite right and they get frustrated, oh, I can't do that. You know, it's like with the owls and things, I've done hundreds of them now. And they've definitely improved, I think, over the years. I'm happy with how they've progressed. I think they're looking a lot more lifelike now. I mean, personally, I try and make things look fairly realistic because that's where my interest lies. But at the same time, it's getting a balance between what something actually looks like and what people think it looks like. That's a new design I've made recently. When I'm coming up with a new design, I'll search online for some reference images, and I just typed hair into Pinterest, and it came up with loads of kind of other artists' interpretation of what hair looks like, and they all had ears, you know, as long as their body. So it's getting that balance. So generally people contact me through the website and they'll sort of send me a generic email saying, I want an owl, how much is it going to cost? And that's like kind of a how long's a piece of string question. You know, how big do you want it? You know, what kind of wood do you want it made out of? The owls themselves tend to be the same size, but I can put them on a different size plinth. Some people like them up quite high so they can sort of sit them in a flower bed and you can see them over the bushes and things. I try and adapt things a bit to people's budgets as best I can, you know, because I appreciate they are quite expensive objects to buy, but at the same time they take a long time to make. We've all got to make a living at the end of the day. Well, the Centre Parks project was probably one of the most enjoyable projects I've done recently. That was a massive undertaking because they wanted 10 6-foot sculptures. You know, they were probably, you know, several feet wide. I had to do 5 information posts, so they were kind of like a fake tree with a sign on the front with an animal sat on the top. And so I had to do an owl, a fox, a bat, rabbits and squirrels. So it was quite a challenge trying to think how to fit the animal within the log, depending on the size of the log and the materials available. You need to be competent at using a chainsaw, definitely. I've got qualified as a chainsaw user for tree surgery because you're using a saw in a way it's not designed to be used. So you need to be really conscious of that because when you're sticking the end of a chainsaw in tight corners, it's very easy to get kickback. And if you're not holding it in the correct position, you could potentially cut yourself. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't give it up for the world. You know, I did spend some time working in an office and I'd much rather be outside because I'm out here in all weathers. You know, it's a lovely sunny day today, but in the middle of winter when it's -2 and it's pouring down with rain, it's not quite so much fun. When people ask me what can I make, in theory I could make anything as long as it fits in a log.